Welcome back, y'all. If you don't know, now you know. It is Monday, July 7th, and you're watching One More Round Fights. I'm your host, Gav. I do this shit every Friday, sometimes on Saturday. Should be on Sunday. Today we're doing a little Monday action. It was a rough weekend. We had a lot of streams going, but it is what it is. This is One More Round Fights live chat. And we got a lot of stuff to go over. PFL MENA 2, PFL Europe 2, Jack Catterall versus Harlem Eubank. Chris Eubank Sr. was wrong. Jon Jones, the White House, Andrew Tate. There's so many things. There's so many pieces and moving parts. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Scan the QR codes below. Main card minute on your bottom left. One More Round Fights on your bottom right. Main card minute. That's where we do the UFC watch alongs. That's where we do, plus money bets. That's where we do, 1 minute breakdowns, 10-minute breakdowns, all that type of stuff. And One More Round Fights. Oh, yeah, that's where you do simulations. That's where you do one championship and PFL watch alongs. That's where we do the wrap-ups on Sundays and sometimes Mondays, So don't forget to come on back. And don't forget to also follow on social, One More Round Fights, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all that. On X is One More Round F8. We live tweet for the PFL events, so don't forget to do that. Sometimes we do it for UFC too. Yeah, and if you get some wins off this channel, send them into One More Round Fights at gmail.com. That is One More Round Fights at gmail.com. Shout out to our sponsor, W.GG. Use promo code One More Round for 10% off. That is promo code One More Round for 10% off. And yeah, man, it is what it is. Besides that, we're trying to hit our sub goal. I think we're at like 478. We're like 22 away from our goal of 500, guys. We almost did it in one weekend. We went from 3-something to 4-something in one weekend. All right, we could do it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Hit that like and subscribe. Do it. Don't give it up. I mean, yes, give it up. Give it to me now. But anyways, yeah, let's see who's in the chat while we're at it. Oh, shit. Richland in the chat. Sub Gaff, I missed PFL Saturday morning. I see y'all cleared the high risk bet. Nice, nice. Let's see BC or LT say, wow, after have you seen this shit montage and I could drink today? It's tradition at this point. I hope they do it for you, brother. I really hope they do it for you. Shout out to BC. He's a real one. Richland says 10 a.m. first rip time. Let's fucking go. I'm with it. You already know. That's how I do it. Wake and I got the shirt on right now. You see it? You see it? The wake and bake. The wake and bake. You already know. 2 in the stinky says Jon Jones took time out of his busy life to unretire and save the heavyweight division. Tom needs to defend or vacate already. Don't you worry. We will talk about it too. We will. You already know. Jennifer says, yo, what's happening? What's happening? We starting early today. A little Monday action before morning combat starts. We're getting it going. We're getting going. PFL was solid this weekend. Might be a good idea for them to have major cards when the UFC is off, but maybe that's just me. That is the perfect time. They should be capitalizing off of the UFC schedule. When you're not having something, we have something. When you're having something, we have something not important. You know what I mean? Like that's what they should be doing. They should never go head to head with the UFC. And if they are, they should do it on a big combat sports weekend. They should do it like right at if the UFC is happening at 7:00 that night, they should have a Europe card starting at 12 that ends at around 6. You know what I mean? Just keep the fucking MMA circle going. That's what PFL's job is to do as the second promotion. Okay, that's what your job is. It's not to compete with the first promotion. It's not to move next door to the McDonald's and go and have fucking as a Burger King and have fucking the same items on the menu. No, we want similar items, different timing, different packaging. We want a little bit different, but we still want all the fucking the entire palette to be sustained. You feel me? That's what we need. Jennifer says, I just dropped a follow on Instagram. Check it out. Follow me back or create overlays in your theme, and I'll animate your picture with your fave character. Oh, shit. Check the request and follow me back. I got you, Jen. I got you. I like this. I like this. We can get some avatars going. We can get some. Hey, if we get to 500, we can get some super chats and some live emojis in the chat. Shit can happen, man. Shit can happen. We're working on it. We're working on it. McGregor's left testicle says Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira should be the main event of the White House card. Well, you're bringing me to my first topic of the evening today. Well, of the morning. I guess. Yeah. First topic. Jon Jones. You're like, why is Jon Jones on top? Didn't he just retire a couple weeks ago? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. But our 45th and 47th president, I think that's right, Donald Trump, mentions that he has interest to throw a UFC fight on the lawn of the White House. Now, for an American fighter, maybe an English fighter, but for an American fighter, that is one of the biggest dreams that you can accomplish in your lifetime. That's right up there with fighting at MSG. That's right up there with fighting in the heart of New York City. That's right up there with fighting in your home country, in your backyard, in your hometown. Fighting in front of the president at the White House, the most significant monument in the country of the United States, would be a huge reason for any fighter to want to fight. And for Jon Jones, who just got a big victory in his custom shorts and did the Trump shuffle to Donald Trump, yeah, that's got to be very intriguing for a fighter like him. Very intriguing. And yeah, I know he just retired. And yeah, I know he tweeted a lot of things. First tweeting that a fight at the White House with googly eyes, showing his interest at first. Okay. And then afterwards, with a second tweet, just re-entered the testing pool. That lasted for about 2 weeks. Figured we'd keep everyone's options open. Seemingly saying that he hasn't closed the door completely on retirement and closed the door completely on fighting in the UFC. And he's not hard set on retirement. So Jon Jones, if we're to be offered a fight to headline the White House front lawn, I don't think he cares who the opponent would be, whether that be Tom Aspinall, whether that be Brock Lesnar, whether that be Daniel Cormier, whether that be Dana White himself. I don't think Jon Jones cares about who the fight is per se. I think he cares about the legacy of fighting in such a location like the White House. Now, that being said, a couple weeks ago, I said, oh, there's no way Jon Jones comes back and fights Tom Aspinall. Like, why would he do that? There's no reason for him to do that. We got a fucking reason. Unfortunately for us, and fortunately for Jon, but fortunately for the fans in the UFC and Donald Trump, Jon Jones has a reason to come back. Now, this does seem far-fetched still, because keep in mind, the White House is in Washington, D.C. The White House is in the Northeast. The White House is in a rainy part of the country. We're not saying that you can't still put an event on there, whether it's outside or inside. I'm just saying there's a lot of factors that are leading into this event being put together in the first place. Okay? So Tom Aspinall seemingly has an opponent already booked. He's saying it's a very dangerous opponent, one of the most dangerous opponents that he's ever had to face. And he's already faced Sergey Pavlovich and Alexander Volkov. So it can't be those two guys. So one of the only names I see on that list of guys that he could be talking about, one of them is already fighting this weekend at UFC Nashville. He's headlining. His name is Derek Lewis. So it's not him, unless he gets a big win and throws himself in the front of the line. But knocking out Taliesin Teixeira, let's pump the brakes on that. And then there's Cyril Gane, Frenchman. Absolutely dominant striker, came over from TKO. French promotion, Canadian promotion. if he fights Ciryl Gane, Ciryl Gane gives him a hell of a matchup, or Tom Aspinall gets him out of there after, some complications. Tom Aspinall looks human. He doesn't get him out of there in the first round because, remember, this is Ciryl Gane. He's one of the best strikers in the world. It's going to take Tom Aspinall a little more than a hard punch to get him out of there in round one. Francis Ngannou had to wrestle him for 5 rounds. What is Tom Aspinall's game plan? It's definitely to wrestle with him a little bit. But if it's not the easiest fight in the world, and Tom can't finish Ciryl Gane as quick as Jon Jones finished Ciryl Gane, and Jon Jones looks at Tom Aspinall like, I don't think this guy could beat me. And Donald Trump sets up the White House fight, and Dana White gives him $20 million to do it, and this and that and so on and so forth. Well, shit. There's literally no reasons left for Jon Jones to not come back and give us a heavyweight, undisputed title fight for all the marbles against Tom Aspinall. That would be fucking fantastic. But again, I'm going to tell you guys just this. Number one, that fight's going to be really hard to make at the White House. Number two, those negotiations with Jon Jones is going to be really tough for him to fight Tom Aspinall. Unless Ciryl Gane somehow beats Tom Aspinall, then it's going to be real easy. And three, lest we forget, we've seen this story before, people. We've seen the story of the guy that went away and we're begging for him to come back and we're not sure if he's going to come back. And every time he says something in tweets, we're like, oh shit, is it going to happen now? Is it going to happen now? We've seen it time and time again. We've seen it at heavyweight even. We've seen it with Brock Lesnar. We've seen it with George St. Pierre. We've seen it with Khabib Nurmagomedov. Not really with the tweets, but you know what I mean. With everybody's, he's going to come back. He's got to come back. 30-0. And finally, we've seen it with somebody that this guy knows very well. Jon Jones' buddy, sitting at number 1 and 2, Conor McGregor. We've seen this time and time again when somebody walks away from the sport and they tease that they're going to come back and they say, this would be interesting. And what about this fight? And this and that. So don't be fooled. Don't take the fucking fool's gold, okay? That's all I'm saying to you. That's it. I'm saying it's possible, yeah. But I'm saying don't fall for it again. Because guys like Jones, guys like McGregor, they like to stay in the spotlight. And the best way to stay in the spotlight is to tease that you have a fight or a possible fight on the horizon. I mean, McGregor was doing this shit with Diego Sanchez, for God's sakes. Come on. Wise up. I know that's an impossible fight. That would be amazing to happen, but it was 2 weeks ago he retired. Don't fall for it. All right? McGregor hopped back in that testing pool too. Have we seen shit? No, we haven't. So I don't know, man. I'm still apprehensive to believe that Jon Jones is going to come back just because of a White House card, or he's going to come back in the very near future. I'm still apprehensive. That's it. Okay? That is it. Cosmo says, this motherfucker John Bones Jones loves attention. Yes, he does. And that's why I'm like, don't fall for it, guys. Don't fall for it. I already know what's happening with this. Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira should be main event at the White House. Yeah, it should be on that White House card. I'd rather see that than the Aspinall fight, honestly. I mean, I'd rather see Jones come back at 205 and show him what's good. Be like, yo, yeah, I came up, beat heavyweight. I came back to 205, and I'm showing motherfuckers what's good. I could beat him at any weight class. What do you want? I might even slim down to middleweight. You know what I mean? I want to see some shit like that. Mr. C, the new main event will be Navy SEAL versus Iraqi insurgent. Hey, let's go old school WWF headlines right there. When they were doing like, we had the war going on and they were like, fuck it. Let's just bring real life fucking issues into our ring. Let's just make characters that emulate what's happening in the world. That would be pretty crazy. I'm down with that, though. I'm fucking into it. Mr. C says, can we finally get Dana White versus Tito Ortiz in a boxing match as the co-main? At this point, too, dude, I got money on Dana. At this point, bro, with all the TRT and all the fucking stem cells and all the supplements he takes and how much better he looks than Tito Ortiz and how much Tito Ortiz is his brain looks like it's taking L's just with how he talks and what he says. I mean, I might have Dana in that motherfucker, man. I might have Dana. Dana would 100% put on a show for his lover boy Trump to use Turkey's money for production, and it would be fire when we seen it. You know, Turkey ain't leaving a shitty impression on the White House. His chance to get close to the White House, I'm not saying anything crazy, but I'm just saying, you know, he's going to relish in that moment. He's going to relish that moment, and fucking he's going to pull out all the stops just like he did in New York City. That's all I'm saying. McGregor's left testicle says if Conor McGregor comes back, there won't be any title fights on the card because he would have to main event it, and he'd take all the money. He'd be like 50 million, and also put everybody from SBG on the card. He'd be like, come on, bro. What are you talking about? You're bringing Artem back and shit? We got to put fucking who's still at SBG in the UFC right now? We'd have to put like Sinead Cav. We'd have to sign Sinead Kavanaugh and put a featherweight fight on in the U. No, she fights at bantamweight, right? We'd have to do shit like that. We'd have to sign James Gallagher and put him on the card in the UFC because I feel like a lot of the SBG fighters that they used to have, besides Brad Katona, and I don't even know if he's still at SBG Ireland, they've moved on or they've since not done so well. So yeah, I don't know. Even if McGregor did a fight at the White House, like imagine Jon Jones, that's a question right there. If there's a White House card and they could get both Jon Jones and McGregor on the card, who headlines and who co-mains? You can't make Jon Jones co-main in his own country. You can't do that, right? But is McGregor big enough that you would have to make him the main event over Jon Jones? That's a conundrum right there. That's a fucking conundrum right there. I don't know what would happen there. I really don't know. But yeah, that's the end of topic 1. I guess. I might start turning this segment into just like MMA updates just to start the fucking show, you know? Just like, all right, what's new in the MMA world? What are we talking about right now? Is that bullshit that we're, you know? It might be MMA updates. So I called it Jon Jones today, but hey, just know that it might be MMA updates in the future. Just quick little one-liners, you know? Well, sometimes we spend a little more time than normal because there ain't much to talk about. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Lefty says, I wonder if they would have it like an Apex event. Stop. Please don't have it like an Apex event. You got to have it outside. I have to see the White House in the back. I have to. You cannot put on a White House event at the White House, and I'm not seeing this motherfucker the whole time. And don't give me that bullshit where we're at the White House. We're in the fucking Oval Office. We're holding interviews in the Oval Office, and they walk out and they fucking, you know, no. None of that shit. I need to see the White House the entire time, whether it's got to be on the front lawn. The backdrop to the fight needs to be the White House. Okay? I don't care if we got to have cameras up against the fucking fence. We got to have the White House in the background. And none of that, oh, we're at the White House, we're inside a venue, and I get stupid flyovers when they go to commercial of the White House. None of that shit. All right? At the White House in the back, colors, lights, red and blue, illuminating the fucking White House. That's what I need. None of that bullshit. Okay? It'll be like the Times Square event. Exactly. Like where we could still see lights and shit. Like I need to see it in the background. I need to see it. Because how do you add seats and who do you allow near the White House? Oh, no. There's no open to the public. You don't even let people near that fence, motherfucker. You have a 2-mile perimeter. Nobody's fucking up anything in this fight. All right. You have like a 2-mile perimeter. Nobody even on the fence. It's only for VVIPs, double VIPs, very, very important people. All right. And then you charge like $5,000 a seat, $10,000 a seat, upwards of $50,000 a seat. All right, we're talking politicians only. We're talking former presidents only. We're talking the best of the best only. I'm talking fucking Michael Jackson's hologram in the front row. That's what we're talking right now. All right, that's what we're talking. We're not talking fucking. I don't want to see. I swear to God, if I see Machine Gun fucking Kelly in the front row, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm going to lose my shit, dude. None of those types of people at this type of event. We need the top. This is an event that literally you're going to talk about for the rest of your lives. You're going to show it in every highlight package for the rest of your life. I don't see any riffraff there. All right? Nobody like that. No offense. I don't want to see any singers from the Red Hot Chili Peppers in the fucking package. I got to see politicians. I got to see VVIPs in this bitch. All right? Who's the most good, the fucking greatest artist in the world right now? Them. Only them can show up if we're doing music. We're not doing any fucking fringe people, no D-listers, no C-listers, no B-listers, very, very little A-listers. We're talking A-plus listers, okay? That's what has to show up to this event if it happens. All hype, no delivery. That's probably what it's going to be. The fights are going to be so boring because nobody wants to lose on the White House card. Nobody wants to get knocked the fuck out on the White House card and be a highlight for the rest of their lives. Oh, yeah, Dad. What did you do when you were younger? Yeah, I fought this dude. I fought Calvin Cater on the White House card, and I got knocked out in 7 seconds with a vicious elbow. It's on the highlight package that you always see in the UFC. Nobody wants that. Okay, everybody wants to make the highlight. So you might see a bunch of decisions on that card. I ain't gonna lie to you. Times Square remixed with rich old white politicians. Essentially, it should be like Obama, fucking Trump, Clinton, George Bush, both of them. Oh wait, sorry, just one of them. Actually, no, both are alive still, right? Who else? Some of our favorites. Fuck it. Schwarzenegger should be there. Who else? Rocky Balboa got to be there. Sylvester Stallone got to be there. Who else? Fuck it. Michael B. Jordan. He's on top of the world right now. He's got to be there. Denzel Washington's got to be there. I'm talking A-listers. Fucking George Clooney's got to be there. Leo's got to be there. Leo's got to be there. I'm talking A-listers, people. I'm not talking like fucking Gal Gadot. Nobody cares. I'm talking A-listers. I'm talking Meryl Streep. Okay? Meryl Streep's got to be there. That's the level we're talking about. You got to have been around a long time and everybody knows who the fuck you are. That's who you got to be at this event. All right? Blue Angels flying overhead, nonstop fireworks. Now we're talking, Mr. C. Now we're talking. Monica Lewinsky as the ring. All right, we went too far. We went a little bit too far, but you see where I'm at. You see the headspace I'm operating in right now. You see it. Taylor Swift is the ring card girl. Now we're getting close because everybody knows who Taylor Swift is. She's very popular, one of the biggest artists in the world. Now we're talking. You see where I'm at? But the event has to be huge, bro. Huge. UFC 300, 200, 100 combined with boxing at Times Square. Mixed with Bellator Hawaii. You know what I mean? That grandioseness. I need a fucking ceremony to start this shit. You feel me? Paige Van Zandt versus Gina Carano in a Jello wrestling match wearing American flag bikinis. Yes. You see? Now we're talking. The ideas are flying, boys. But yeah, Jon Jones wants to fight at the White House. We'll see what happens. We had a lot of MMA happen this weekend, a lot of good MMA. But before I start with that, no fighter spotlight this week. No fighter spotlight. If anybody is going to be if anybody was going to be Paulina Wisniewska, if you don't know now, you know. But no. Still very young in her career. All the other people that got great finishes, still very young in their career, even Patrick Habirora. I mean, Danny Roberts, KO looks great, but I'm not going to exactly do a fighter spotlight on you because there isn't much to spotlight just yet. But we got something to start with. So, yeah, no fighter spotlight this week. I'll have one for you guys next week. Definitely plenty of prospects fighting on that card. A lot of them got to make the name for themselves on some older fighters. So we'll see what happens there. If the fucking old school fighters, if the vets get it done, or if the new guys get it done. But yeah, no fighter spotlight this week. Topic number 2. PFL MENA 2 happened. PFL MENA 2 happened. And we had probably one of the best cards PFL has put on this year. Unfortunately for them. Fortunately for them as well, but unfortunately for them because, I mean, PFL MENA 2 was one of your best cards of the year. Didn't you have PFL Europe 1 with Paul Hughes on it? Didn't you have a bunch of tournament fights? Yeah, a lot of those went to decision. Wasn't a great card. A lot of weird, wonky decisions on there too. But you know who gets it right? And you know who gets a lot of finishes? The PFL overseas cards. Okay? PFL MENA 2 was headlined by Omar El Dafrawy versus Daniel Miceli. There was a few good prospects on the card. And lucky for you, I'm deep in this MMA shit. So I'm going to let you know about every single one of them. Because I watched every single one of these fights this weekend. Because I streamed them and had a combat companion for them as well. If you don't already know, I like to do combat companions for one championship fights, for PFL fights, if we're able to watch them in the U.S. markets. And that's what we did this weekend. And PFL MENA 2 and PFL Europe 2 did not disappoint. They both delivered. They carried the MMA torch this weekend because the UFC wasn't happening. They had a week off. So shout out to the PFL for doing that and doing it well. Now let's talk about it. Omar El Dafrawy defeats Daniel Miceli by submission. Triangle choke, round 1, 1 minute and 15 seconds. Now, we all thought this was going to be a TKO because of the style that Omar has. Daniel Miceli has been TKO before. It seemed like a match made in heaven. But Daniel starts to wrestle pretty crazy, takes down Omar, gets in his guard, right? So Omar is like, oh, you're in my guard? All right, let me throw up a triangle. He wraps up the triangle. Daniel lifts him up over his head, and we're like, oh my God, he's going to slam KO him and get the win. Oh my God, he's up so high. He's not bracing for this fall. His head's too far back the way he's trying to crank on the triangle choke. Daniel Miceli throws him on his back, lands him flat, not towards his head. We get out of that scare, okay? We just get out of that scare. Then Daniel Miceli, the beast that he is, lifts Omar back up again. And we're like, oh, no. He's going to knock him out with a slam KO. But this time, he drops him way slower and way softer than he did the first time. At this point, we're starting to think this is going to be a sub. He's got it locked in pretty deep. And yeah, we were right. Omar El Dafrawy defeats Daniel Miceli by triangle choke and made it look easy. 1 minute and 15 seconds. Like I said, 75 seconds and that fight was over. All right. So shout out to Omar El Dafrawy. We got a new good prospect over there at PFL MENA. In the co-main, Muhammad Al-Akhra defeats Omar Hussein via unanimous decision, 30-27 across the board. He just controlled him, man. He did exactly what I expected him to do. Stay away from his power punches, piece him up, get on his bike, take him down when he needed to, and control the fight. It was an easy fight for Muhammad Al-Akhra. Easy win. Hatan Al-Saif defeats Noor Al-Fliti by TKO injury. Round 2, 2 minutes and 24 seconds. If you guys don't know, now you know Hatan Al-Saif is a star over there in Saudi Arabia. Okay, she has a son. She's an amateur atomweight fighter. And you're like, atomweight? What the fuck are we talking about? They can't finish people. No, Hatan Al-Saif finishes people. Okay, she's got nice head kicks, and this is an amateur we're talking about. She has nice head kicks, and she drops these girls with these. Okay, drops them. At first in this fight, we were like, oh man, is she going to get controlled by this girl? Like the wrestling exchanges, she wasn't getting away too quick. But then she started figuring out her game. She started sprawling, punching her opponent, getting away, walking to the center with some swag. And then eventually in round 2, she found the head kick that put her down. Hit her with a bunch of hammer fists. Her opponent kept recovering, kept circling, trying to play the guard game. But eventually she gets to her feet. She looks very injured. The referee has to step in. Hatan Al-Saif gets the big win. The crowd goes crazy. Everybody taking photos. She's a star, man. I think it's almost time that we make her go pro. She looked great over there. I'm excited to see where her career goes from here. But yeah, she keeps herself undefeated, 3-0. Muhammad Zeri defeats Ayman Galal via unanimous decision, 29-28, 29-28, 29-28. I called this one. Zeri was looking good. I thought he was going to get the sub. He eventually gave up a round early, but in the later rounds, he figured out his game plan, controlled the rest of the fight, and Zeri gets the win. Xavier Aloui defeats Zayed Ayman via unanimous decision, 30-27 across the board. This was a runaway fight, pretty much. It was one-way traffic the entire time. One fighter was complete utter control, and he got the victory. Mokhtar Benkassi defeats Marcel Ader via TKO body shots. Round 1, 57 seconds. You should have seen it. This was a beautiful left uppercut to the liver, similar to a Bas Rutten uppercut to the body, similar to an Ilia Topuria body shot. This was beautiful, very corked, turned the hips, unloaded the shot on the body of his opponent, and his opponent couldn't take any more. He folded up against the fence, took a couple more shots, and the fight was over. Mokhtar Benkassi got some hands on him. He is somebody to keep in mind when looking at PFL MENA fights. He is a problem over there. Okay. Badruddin Diani defeats Ahmad Abdelbas Darvish via unanimous decision, 29-28, 29-28, 29-28. Amir Fazli defeats Rostam Akhman via KO, round 2, 1 minute and 34 seconds. This was one of the crazier KOs on the card. If you're looking to see some crazy KOs, go watch the beginning of this PFL MENA card. There was some crazy KOs. I mean, there was a knee that turned into a head kick KO. There was flying knee KOs. There was spinning back fist KOs. I mean, this card had everything you wanted, guys. I mean, definitely go back and check these out. But yeah, like I said, Amir Fazli defeats Rostam Akhman by KO, round 2, 1 minute and 34 seconds. Naras Azbak defeats Ali Azbek via KO, round 2, 50 seconds. Islam Youssef defeats Benjamin Garaman via KO, round 2, 3 minutes and 55 seconds. And Abdelrahman Al-Hayasset defeats Anthony Zaidan via submission, rear naked choke, round 2. Okay, and that's it. That's my coverage in PFL MENA. If you showed up for PFL MENA, it was a fun time. Shout out to everybody that showed up. I mean, we made some money on the card. Somehow, some way, we made some money on the PFL MENA card. We didn't cash both my parlays. I didn't give them out to the people because, again, it was a PFL MENA card. Didn't want that to go against the record. But if you were on the stream and you caught the parlay, you cashed. And congrats to you. Congrats to you. Mr. C says PFL Europe 2 was good. I just watched Octagon 75, and that was a banger too. I should go back and watch that. I haven't watched that. Okay. Melker in the house. Melker says, what up, Gaff? What up, gents? Hope y'all having a good day. It's Monday, baby. Starting off with a clean slate. Can't be mad. Can't be mad. Gotta love a good Monday here and there, Lazy Bed says, let's get it. Let's get it, Lazy. Wheels Up says, I know they put on development skill, but it's always been about how you promote. How do you take advantage of a UFC that is off? And the only thing I hear is the weird White House. Isn't that sad? Yeah. It is what it is. Lazy Bed says, Lorenz Larkin to Karate Combat. Great spot for him to land. He's always been a really good striker, and the only way that people stopped his game was from wrestling him and putting him up against the fence. So put him in a rule set where they can't really run away and they got to face him and what he's best at. Yeah, I definitely expect Lorenz Larkin to thrive just like Sam Alvey has thrived, just like all the other guys have thrived over there. All the other fucking guys. I can't remember. But yeah, shout out to anybody that came through for the parlay that cashed on PFL MENA. That was Omar El Dafrawy, Muhammad Al-Akra, and Muhammad Zeri. Yeah, that was minus 118. You basically doubled your money if it cashed, but it is what it is. Shout out to everybody that showed up and cashed because of it. But speaking of cashing, we had another PFL card, back-to-back cards. So the PFL MENA 2 card was in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Guess where the PFL Europe 2 card was? PFL Europe 2 happened at a Brussels, Belgium, baby. Brussels, Belgium. We're talking waffles. We're talking chocolate. We're talking desserts. We're talking deliciousness, gourmet foods, chocolatiers left and right, boulangeries. Yeah, we're talking about all the works. All right. Brussels, Belgium, headlined by none other than the Belgian boy himself, Patrick Habirora. He took on Danny Roberts in the main event and head kicks him into oblivion. Right high head kick, drops Danny Roberts, finishes him up after dropping him with 2 hammer fists just to make it academic. The referee jumps in. Round 1, 4 minutes and 32 seconds. Danny Roberts, hot chocolate, almost made it out of the first round, but Patrick Habirora has to take him out for his home country. He runs into the crowd afterwards, celebrates with them like he's early 2010s Jose Aldo. It was absolutely amazing to see. The Belgian crowd was shown out for their hometown fighters, for their countrymen. So shout out to the PFL and shout out to the fans over there showing love. In the co-main, Taylor Lapilus, UFC veteran Taylor Lapilus, defeats Ali Taleb via unanimous decision. He does what he does, man. He knows how to win a fight. He knows how to win a decision. He knows how to win a point fight. He knows how to make the judges think he won the fight. And he didn't have to make the judges think in this one because they knew. Ali Taleb, usually a power puncher, usually the finish is how he gets his wins. Taylor, knowing that, just keeps him on his back foot, lands more powerful strikes, lands more often, keeps him swinging and missing, and Taylor Lapilus walks his way to a unanimous decision. Did he even break a sweat in this fight? He didn't have to work too hard to get this win. I mean, Ali Taleb was lunging in and not trying to strike effectively in this fight. It was pretty much an easy win for Taylor. Gaetano Perillo defeats Salvatore Liga via submission, Darce choke, round 1, 3 minutes and 22 seconds. I thought the submission was going to be Liga's. I thought Liga was the submission guy, but apparently Gaetano Perillo showed him that there's levels to this shit, and you're not on my level. Liga just left his neck out there, and it got caught. Another budding star on this PFL Belgium card, Boris Atagana, defeats Bruno Santos by TKO, round 1, 56 seconds. I told you guys to take the under a half a round. I told you guys this guy was a problem. I told you that they brought this guy in to get knocked out and that this wouldn't last longer than a minute. And boy, was I freaking right. This guy, Boris, he's got Stormbreaker in one hand. He's got fucking all of the Avengers in the other hand. He's just a problem, dude. When he lands, he hurts you, and bad. Okay, there was a point where I thought it was going to be a sub, and then he gets the TKO. I was so thankful for that. So shout out to Atagana. Big win, huge win. Can't wait to see what he does over in Europe because they got a budding star over there for sure. They got some Francis Ngannou level power over there. Chiquina Noso Pedro defeats Hamzat Abayev by unanimous decision. Yes, Hamzat Abayev. He is Chechen, all right? And his name is also Boers, but not Chimaev, Abayev. And he loses by unanimous decision. 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. Movsar Ibragimov defeats Gerardo Fanny via submission, Von Fluchok, round 2, 1 minute and 42 seconds. He is not the brother of Ibragimov. No relation, just similar last name. Movsar from Belgium, Ibrahim from Russia. But Movsar Ibragimov defeats Gerardo Fanny by submission, Von Fluchok, round 2, minute and 42 seconds. He's a finisher. I told you guys he was going to look good. I can't believe they had him as the minus 200 favorite. I thought they were going to have Ibragimov as the minus 200 favorite. I mean, Ibrahim as the minus 200, but they had Ibrahim at minus 700 and Movsar at minus 200. I was like, maybe they got confused and flipped them. Maybe they got confused. I don't know. Dean Garnett. Oh, sorry. Ibragimov defeats Matthias Sturgren via unanimous decision, 30-27 across the board. Yeah, it was an easy win. He does what he does. That's his 4th decision win. He has 4 wins by decision, 4 wins by TKO, 4 wins by submission. Dean Garnett defeats Tuomas Granvall via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. This was an interesting decision because looking at the fight, I could have sworn Tuomas Granvall was going to win this, but they handed it to Dean Garnett in the end, and I guess all the damage that he was doing was enough to get him the fight. But shout out to Dean. Hard-fought win for sure. Mario Campanella defeats Matiz Zaharovs via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. Matiz Zaharovs didn't do enough in that first round. He usually comes out fast and puts it on his opponent. This time he didn't do that, and it cost him. Round 1, he took it very easy, ended up on his back for a good amount of time, and then he ended up losing round 1. He comes back very well in round 2, does a lot of good work, but then ends up on his back again right at the end of round 2. So it makes that round look a little bit iffy. And round 3 was completely his. He completely controls his opponent all over him the entire time. If he did what he did at the end of at the beginning of round 2, at the end of round, and all of round 3, he would have won the fight. But he just got into his game plan super late. He ends up losing our parlay, and it is what it is. But he's still a prospect on the rise. I believe he's 7-4 now, 7-4-1. But yeah, he's still got a bright future. Catalin Softa defeats Nicholas DeFranco via split decision, 30-27, 28-29, 29-28. That fight was tough. You know, both these guys tried to wrestle their way to a decision, and it is what it is. The better striker won. Gustavo Oliveira defeats Anas Azizun via KO, spinning back elbow, round 1, 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Go back and watch this. Gustavo Oliveira is a problem. Okay, he's here and he wants to land damage on these fighters. Go back and watch that KO. That one's worth it. Jan Siplowski defeats Julian Lopez via TKO, round 1, 3 minutes and 43 seconds. Jan also getting a big win. Shout out to him. He was also in our parlay. Very good fighter. I expected him to get a submission win, but we're never mad with any type of finish. Okay? Never mad. Shout out to Paulina Wisniewska. She defeats Jessica Kuna by submission, rear naked choke, round 1, 4 minutes and 12 seconds. She's another budding star on the rise. Okay, all these names you should look out for: Patrick Habirora, Boris Aragana, Movsar Ibrahim Ibrahimov, Gustavo Oliveira, Yancy Plowski, Paulina Wisniewska. Look out for all these names, man. They're a problem. Paulina Wisniewska, flyweight, and she's the only person that I feel that Dakota Ditcheva hasn't faced that could be a problem for her in the future. Paulina's big for the weight class. She's strong. She has great striking. She has a ground game as well. You can see her getting submissions, not just a striker. So, yeah, I'd love to see if she wins this for the second time. I'd love to see if she goes over to the championship or the world tournament side and ends up with a head-to-head matchup against Dakota, because I'd love to see that. Adam Moschini defeats Tiziano Ferrante via TKO, round 2, 4 minutes and 56 seconds. Levi Batchelor defeats Fadi Khalid via technical submission. Ezekiel choke, round 3, 4 minutes and 34 seconds. And Salvio Gialdus defeats Bryce Belghazi by submission, rear naked choke, round 3, 2 minutes and 14 seconds. That completes my coverage of PFL 2. Feel me? A lot of prospects on that card we're talking about. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. Mr. C says, if your name was Lorenzo, would you want to be called Lorenzo, Lorenz, or Enzo? My friend has a dog named Enzo. Shout out to Adam. So I wouldn't like Enzo. Yeah, I wouldn't like Enzo. Lorenz is okay. I just feel like, why are we just cutting off the O? And Lorenzo, I don't like people calling me by my full name unless it's like my girlfriend or my mom. So I definitely wouldn't like people calling me that. I'd like them to call me Zoe. That's it. Not Enzo, just Zoe. What up, Zoe? I'm Haitian too, so that's it's like almost a double entendre, really. Melker X says, how's the Cuban Olympian doing in karate combat? Robelis to Spain? Who the fuck cares, man? That guy lost me so much money in the UFC. I don't even want to hear his name anymore. Lazy Bed says, about to compete in about a week, Melker X, undefeated there. Okay. That's the update on Robelis. And Lazy says, hasn't been outside of like a minute. Yeah, that's his trend. And especially now that people can't take him down, it's even harder to exceed that, you know? So shout out to Rebellis to Spain. He loses me money, but he makes other people happy, and that's what matters. Don't forget to like and sub, guys. We're still on that. We're still trying to get to that goal of 500. We're still trying to get there. So please scan the QR code below. Main card mirror on your left. One more round fights on your right. Hopefully we can do a CP units this week. We're really gonna need some fighters to get added to this game for us to do the CP units this week, because I don't think we have even one matchup that we can make. So good luck. But please follow on social for updates and all that other kind of stuff. You already know. But moving on, there was some boxing this weekend, guys. There was some boxing. Jack Catterall was taking on Harlem Eubank. Like Chris Eubank Sr.? Yeah, son. Harlem Eubank took on Jack Catterall in Manchester, England. And guess what? This fight ends in a technical decision, not a majority decision, not a unanimous decision, not a split decision, a technical decision. And how does a technical decision come to fruition? Well, the fight has to be called to a stop early, and the judges have to judge the fight based on the rounds that already happened. There was a clash of heads that caused a big cut, which caused a halt to the fight. Jack Catterall in his corner, trying to get tended to. In the end, the referee has to call the fight. And it ends up being a unanimous decision. It ends after 7 rounds. The scorecards being 69-66, 69-66, 69-65. And yes, this was a unanimous decision because Jack Catterall was the better fighter. Jack Catterall was beating Harlem Eubank almost everywhere. There was no way that I saw Harlem Eubank coming back to win this fight in any type of decision anyways. Now, it's always possible if that cut let the fight continue. You don't know how it affects Catterall. We've seen time and time again how a cut can affect a fighter. Our most notable one and most recent one being Tim Tszyu against Sebastian Fundora. Or was it? I forget who it was, but it was Tim Tszyu. And yeah, they had to call a halt to the fight. But Jack Catterall still looked great. Jack Catterall came in there and did what we expected him to do, win a decision. And yeah, hopefully Harlem Eubank gets a good fight that he can showcase his skills, because I don't think it's going to be this one. After the fight, he was calling for a rematch, calling for all this stuff, but I don't think this is the fight we want to see, my boy. I think we know how this was going to end, and we'd like to see Jack Catterall move on to bigger and better things. And Harlem Eubank, he's a solid fighter, but let's match him up accordingly after this. That's all I have to say about that. Joe Cordina in the co-main, unanimous decisions. Jared Gonzalez, 98-92, 99-91, 100-90. Joe Cordina was in the driver's seat and going 100 miles an hour. He was controlling this fight in every single way, shape, and form, and Joe Cordina proved that there's really levels to this shit. Elsewhere on the card, Akeem Fiaz defeats Alex Murphy, unanimous decision in 10 rounds, 96-95, 96-94, 97-93. Pat Brown TKOs Lewis Oakford in round 1, 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Leo Atang TKOs Milan Panov, round 1, 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Go back and watch yourself some boxing knockouts, will you? And in the prelims, Fraser Wilkinson defeats William Crolla via 6-round TKO. Alfie Middlemiss defeats Muhammad Waco via points, 40-36 across the board. Sky Nicholson on the prelims, bouncing back. She gets a win over Camila Campos Gonzalez, 2nd round TKO. Shout out to Scott Nicholson, getting back in the win column, getting some more W's under that belt. Shout out to her. And then Neil Brown defeats Victor Ionescu, not to be confused with Sabrina Ionescu, via 4th round TKO. Corner retires him. And that's it. An anticlimactic boxing card for the weekend. Unfortunately, it was the one boxing card that we were able to really put on a pedestal, and it ends in a technical decision because of a clash of heads. So unfortunately for that, but Jack Catterall still walks away from that with a win. So we should see some great matchups for him next. Yeah. Other news in boxing, other boxing notables, guys. We got a fight coming up this week in about 4 days, actually, this Friday on Netflix in New York City from Madison Square Garden. We have the trilogy, the rematch, a title fight between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. 10 rounds for Taylor's undisputed women's junior welterweight championship. Yes, I have predictions. wait for the end of this stream. Just in about 10 minutes here. I'm going to get through it. Don't worry. In the co-main and elsewhere on the card, this is an all-girl card. It's going to be a fun one, too. I expect some TKOs. Don't you worry. Alicia Baumgardner will be taking on Jennifer Miranda. 10 rounds for Baumgardner's undisputed women's junior lightweight championship. Savannah Marshall will be taking on Shadeja Green. 10 rounds for Marshall's IBF women's super middleweight title and Green's WBO super middleweight title. Ellie Scottney is taking on Yamileth Mercado. 10 rounds for Scottney's IBF and WBO women's junior featherweight titles and Mercado's WBC women's junior featherweight title. Cherneka Johnson takes on Shurietta Metcalf. 10 rounds for Metcalf's IBF women's bantamweight title and Johnson's WBA bantamweight title and the vacant WBO and WBC women's bantamweight titles. And last but not least, Chantel Cameron is taking on Jessica Kamara. 10 rounds for Cameron's WBC women's interim junior welterweight title. Okay? That might be the next fight for who wins in the Katie Taylor Amanda Serrano fight. Who knows? But yeah, that's coming up this weekend. I will have predictions for you. Don't worry. Also, July 12th in Queens, New York, on DAZN, we have Edgar Berlanga taking on Hamza Shiraz, 12 rounds at middleweight. Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda's on the card, 12 rounds for Stevenson's WBC lightweight title. Turki Al-Sheikh has said that they will be debuting a shrinking ring for that fight. Interested to see what that's going to look like and how that is operated. We also have a title fight between Alberto Puello and Subriel Matias. 12 rounds for Puello's WBC junior welterweight title. And we also have David Morrell taking on Imam Katayev, 12 rounds at light heavyweight on the card. July 12th, also this weekend, but from El Paso, Texas on DAZN, we also have a title fight between Stephanie Hahn and Bexy Mateus. 10 rounds for Hahn's WBA women's lightweight title. Don't forget to check that out. Lots of women fighting this weekend, okay? Big weekend for the ladies in boxing. July 19th in Las Vegas, we have a title fight between Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios. 12 rounds for Barrios' WBC lightweight title. We also have Fundora Zhu on the card. 12 rounds for Fundora's WBC and WBO junior middleweight titles. Isaac Cruz and Brandon Figueroa are also on the card. Also, July 19th from Frisco, Texas, we have Jesse Bam Rodriguez taking on Fumile Kafu. Also on the card, Trevor McCumbee. July 19th from London on DAZN pay-per-view, we have a title fight between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois. 12 rounds for Usyk's WBC, WBO, and WBA heavyweight titles and Dubois' IBF heavyweight title. Also on the card, Lawrence Okoli at heavyweight. July 26th in New York on ESPN and ESPN Plus, we have Xander Zayas taking on Jorge Garcia. Also on the card, Bruce Carrington taking on Mateus Heita. July 26th in Detroit on DAZN, we have Claressa Shields taking on Lonnie Daniels. Shout out to the GWOAT. 10 rounds for Shields' undisputed heavyweight championship. Also on the card, Samantha Worthington at junior welterweight. August 2nd in Chicago on DAZN, we have Oscar Duarte taking on Kenneth Sims Jr. 12 rounds at junior welterweight. August 16th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, we have Moses Otomo taking on Dillian White. 12 rounds at heavyweight. At September 13th, we have a title fight between Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Okay. And those are all the boxing fights that we have left. Shout out to everyone who cashed this weekend. Shout out to everyone who cashed on this week's wins. We gave out this parlay, a little Patrick Habirora, Matisse Arlovs, Jan Saplowski. 2 of those 3 legs hit. Matisse let us down, but we also had the 1 round high risk parlay, which I like to give you guys as well at plus 428. We have Gustavo Oliveira, Movsar Ibrahimov, Taylor Lapulus, and Ibrahim Ibrahimov. All 4 of those legs cash at a plus 428. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We got a green check coming across the board. And yeah, we cashed on both apps. Plus 459 on FanDuel, plus 428 on DraftKings. Shout out to everybody that believes, and shout out to everybody that tails, because guess what, bitches? You made yourself some money. You made yourself some money, baby. This week's wins, motherfucker. This week's wins. All right? Don't get it twisted. We out here getting W's. Big W's in the chat like we're fucking Jameis Winston out here. All right? That's what we like to do. So if you want to win with us, don't forget to subscribe, scan the QR codes below, plus money bets on the main card minute. We also give you some big, nice parlays over here on One More Round Fights every week. Don't forget to also follow on social, One More Round Fights everywhere, One More Round F8 on X, because Elon's a bitch. You already know how it is. But without further ado, let's get to my UFC Nashville picks, baby. We got 5 minutes before MK starts. Let me get into it. Nice and easy, nice and quick. I already gave you guys a little breakdown. Here we go. Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis is a dog, as a plus 200 dog against a relatively unknown prospect. Yeah, give me Derek Lewis and take all my fucking money right the fuck now. Please take it. What? Derek Lewis, the guy that's knocked out so many heavyweights, he has the knockout record, taking on some nobody that fought fucking, who the fuck did he fight? Who the fuck did Taliesin Teixeira fight? Bro, he fought Justin Tafa in his last fight, and we think he can beat Derek Lewis? Get the fuck out of here. Give me Derek Lewis. All right. Nate Landwehr. I like Nate Landwehr. He hasn't lost 2 in a row ever. He has the gas tank to beat Morgan Charrier. As we know, Morgan Charrier was controlled later in most of his fights, and he loses a lot of fights by decision. I believe he's double-digit losses on fights that go by decision. So, yeah, Morgan Charrier should lose this by decision to Nate Landwehr. Chris Curtis, I love him as a welterweight. He didn't do so well at welterweight in the PFL, so maybe that must be an issue. It must sap his gas tank in a way. Maybe he moves easier at middleweight. This is a trap fight for me, but I still like Chris Curtis. It should be a close decision win against Max Payne Griffin, but I think Max Payne Griffin should take an L here, and he might even lose by KO to Chris Curtis. We'll see what happens. I like Mike Davis to win in his fight against a relatively unknown opponent. I believe that takedowns and submission attempts are his routes to victory. He should be the bigger fighter here. As long as he can impose his will, he should win this fight. And you know we're rocking with Fatima Klein. New York all day, baby. New York all day. Fatima, get the job done, girl. Get that job done. You already know. And I got some picks on boxing for you bitches. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano 3 is happening on Netflix on Friday. Don't forget to get your bets in early. Here's my thoughts. I know Katie Taylor won the first 2 fights. I know this. And I know the first fight, she definitely won. The second fight was a little iffy. People were like, wait, I thought Serrano won that. That being said, just take these factors into consideration. Katie hasn't looked great as of late. That's number 1. Keep in mind, she's 3 years older than Amanda Serrano. Okay? That's number 2. This fight is happening in New York. That's Amanda Serrano's backyard, baby. I know the other ones did too, but I'm just saying we could get some good theater here. We could get, and maybe even set up a 4th fight out of this. I'm just saying, just thinking boxing terms. Okay? Just thinking boxing terms. Okay? And if you put all that together and also factor in that Serrano arguably won that last fight, and the clash of heads and the cut may have misconstrued how the judges saw the fight, I like a Serrano decision, dude. I like a Serrano decision. Now, if she's the favorite, I don't. Then I'm definitely going with Katie Taylor decision. But this fight will go the distance as the other 2 did. And I expect Serrano to win, baby. New York all day. We rocking with New York this weekend. New York ladies all day. Alicia Baumgartner, I like her to get a decision win. She just signed to MVP. Keep that in mind. Her last fight ended, I believe, because of a clash of heads. She might be wanting to come out and get a KO win, but her opponent's very game, and I think she'll just get a decision win here. Okay, I think the co-main and the main go to decision. Now, Savannah Marshall, I expect to get a TKO. I expect her to take out Shadasia Green. Now, that being said, Savannah Marshall, okay, she's fought some of the best in the world. All right. Now, her opponent's also a KO artist, so I like the KO on either side. But I just feel like Shadasia's out of her depth. Savannah Marshall's faced, I believe she's faced the GOAT, for God's sakes. So I think she could handle Shadasia Green. Okay? Marshall TKO. Yamila Mercado always wins her fights by decision. She has like 13 wins by decision, only 4 by TKO. I'm going with Mercado to win by decision. Also, she already beat this girl So I don't even know why she's getting the fight, but maybe because her opponent just signed to MVP. So there could be some fishy shit here that ends up making a trilogy out of this fight. I'm letting you guys know this information early. Your Milith Mercado should be an easy decision win, but there could be some fishiness on the cards. That's all I'm saying. A trilogy could be set up here. That may be the theme of the night. I may be setting this up a little early, but I'm just saying keep your eyes out for that. Chantel Cameron, I believe she'll get the TKO win. She just signed to MVP. She's fighting an older opponent. I believe her opponent's 40 years of age. I know she has a belt. I know age doesn't mean anything. Holly Holm just got a fucking win last weekend, but Chantel Cameron has dynamite in her hands. I think half her wins are by TKO, and I think she should get a TKO win here to overwhelm her opponent, probably in the 7th round, something like that. And then last but not least, Cherneka. We got Cherneka Johnson. I think she's also fighting an older opponent, Shurieta. But keep in mind, Shurieta is a street fighter. Okay, that's where she comes from. That's her background. She also has boxing wins over Kay Hansen and Britton Hart. Okay, so she can fight girls with some hands. Kay Hansen got some hands on her. Britton Hart is a bare knuckle beast. So I'm saying she's got some hands. I don't see her getting TKO by Cherneka, even though Cherneka got a TKO in her last fight. Okay, so I'm saying the Cherneka Johnson decision. And those are my picks. Serrano decision, Bumgardner decision, Marshall TKO, Mercado decision, Cameron TKO, Johnson decision. And those are my picks on the Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano 3 card on Netflix on Friday. Let's get through these comments. Richland says, Alicia Bumgardner is so fine. Take a second and Google her if you haven't seen her. She smokes her. I've been telling people about Alicia Bumgardner, bro. I've been telling about Alicia, bro. For like 5 years now, I've been telling about Alicia. I was like, bro, she's a baddie and she got hands and she talks shit, bro. And she talks shit. She has trash talk on her too. Them Detroit girls don't fuck around, bro. I think she's from Detroit. If not Detroit, then Chicago. But I'm pretty sure Alicia Bumgardner is from Michigan. She'll put some hands on you. She'll put some hands on you. Richland says, I was 6 for 6 on Friday's PFL. That's what we like, a nice PFL card. No, don't give us no weird-ass dogs that we don't want to win on. Give us some nice, solid favorites so we could parlay them together and get us a big old win. You feel me? Shout out to PFL MENA. Green Go OG22 says, yo, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone had a great Hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope you had a great weekend as well, sir. We're about to watch some MK right now. Mike Conlon says, fucking hell, bros. I'm sick. Oh, man, it is what it is, man. All you got to do is fight through. Get yourself some lime, some lemon, some honeys, some tea, you know, put all those things together. And hopefully that should heal you. Maybe get some orange juice in you, some vitamin C. Hope you feel better, brother. Hope you feel better. And Green Go OG22 says, are there odds on the amount of headbutts for this fight? Nope, not yet. But be warned. Be warned. It's very possible. Very, very possible. And that's it for me, y'all. I got nothing else. That's the end of my show here. Shit. Sponsors. Hit me up. Hit me up. I like free shit. So hit me up. I can take free shit from you and plug you on this said show. You know, we're kind of growing. We're on our way to 500. That being said, don't forget, we're trying to get to 500, guys. Try to get us to 500 before the end of the week. We're at like 470 something. We're trying to get to 500 subs by the end of the week. Hopefully we can get some, super chats going, all that other stuff. Scan the QR codes below. Main card minute. One more round fights. Go ahead. Follow on social. One more round fights everywhere. One more round F8 on X. Send your wins into one more round fights at gmail.com. Go ahead. Watch MK. I'm getting the fuck up out of here. I'm going to watch it too. See you guys there. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully, I'll see you guys on Friday for CP units if we could get a CP units going. If not, maybe I'll just do a fantasy fight series. So we'll see what happens. Richard says, big W's in the chat. Sliding over to MK. Slide over, boys. I'll see you over there. Enjoy the rest of your week. Deuces.